The coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. Mark Twain. Class. Oh! Hello and welcome to the 18th ranked by you, the people, for the people, Los Gigantes, the San Francisco Giants. A little DirecTV rewind. See where they were last year. If you're ready to transform your baseball watching experience, head to directv.com/JohnBoy or scan the QR code on the screen to learn more. Last year, man, every number I see is between 15 and 20. Whether you're talking OPS, batting average, runs, home runs, starting pitcher ERA, reliever ERA, that had them land 80 and 82 last year. That was fourth in the National League West. Trev, you already have your hand raised.
Because we're doing the rewind now, and I want to talk about the 2024 season just briefly because we're talking about a mid-ranked team with kind of mid-ranked numbers, and it gets even crazier. It's almost like simulation type stuff, Jakey boy. Last year, they did not have a month where a winning percentage was under 444, and they did not have one over 536. And they were just straight. There wasn't a great month, wasn't a bad month. In 9-inning games, Jake, they were 73 and 73. Okay? In one-run games, they were 24 and 24. In blowout games, they were 21 and 21. And in interleague, they were 23 and 23. Holy shit.
Just be careful with that M word. When you start flying that M word around.
I said mid-range.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Trev, with all of that, I think they brought some stuff in, Coach.
They did bring some stuff in. They brought some. Okay, let me just say this.
Okay, a Hall of Famer.
They brought a couple big names in. Okay. Our guy, Willie Adames, one of the prize free agents of this class. He goes there on a 7-year, $182 million deal. He comes over from Tampa to Milwaukee. What you know what you get with Willie, an upbeat, great clubhouse guy that's going to do it offensively, defensively, just honestly, a guy that you want on your baseball team that puts numbers up too. Love the signing, no doubt about it. How about JV?
Yeah.
Justin Verlander comes over, 1 year, $15 million. He pitched 17 games last year in Houston to a 5.48. So they're hoping on a little bounce back. Verlander still thinks he's got something in the tank. Oh boy.
What?
This name is tough for me.
What?
Do you want to give this one a try? Who they traded for from the Rays?
Slavis Basabe?
Crushed it right there. They got him. Sam Huff comes over on waivers from the Rangers. Lucchesi, Trevino, Lamb, and Sergio Alcantara come over on minor league deals. They also exercised, Wilmer Flores exercised his player option to stay there. $3.5 million for 2025. You know him in San Francisco, so you know what you're going to get there. So they brought in, a top-heavy free agent class and then some kind of, additional deals there. Who did they lose, Jake? Because I think this one's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, they lost Blake Snell, who, per usual with Blake, it was a little bit of a slow start, but when he kicked into gear, I think he had an argument to be the best pitcher in baseball once he did. He left. He's on a team they're going to see a lot this year. Michael Conforto, LOL, same. How about this year from Conforto? 116 OPS plus. He went to the Dodgers. The young prince, Thairo Estrada. Watch out for him on the All-Star team with Colorado this year. I'll buy a little of that stock. Taylor Rogers, they split up the Twins. Beach Blake Sable, your guy, is now out of town. He's in Boston. And Kurt Casale, also your guy. Mark Canha, Austin Warren. So you're right. Probably more parts out than in, depending what you get. The lineup for me is always the question. I feel like they're going to pitch enough, whether it's that ballpark. The lineup, I need a little juice.
I think you're going to hear this in my voice throughout the episode. I like this lineup. I like this team. I think I'm just wondering, is it enough? Can it be enough? Lamont Wade Jr. gonna be at first base. I think he might end up being might be a DH by the end of the year, but we'll just put him at first base to
Mm,
start. Late night Lamont, let's go, baby. Willie at shortstop. Jung Hoo Lee, a full season of him will be nice to see. I'm excited to get to see him run down balls in center field. My guy Matthew Chapman
mm,
at third base. You know how I feel about him. Elliot Ramos, another full year of him, and all he brings to the table. I think he's a massive wild card in this lineup, along with now second baseman Tyler
mm.
Fitzgerald. Offensive prowess, we understand what it can be. Both him and Elliott have to go through that sophomore campaign. We'll see what they can bring. Yastrzemski in right now, Fangraphs has Wilmer Flores as the DH and Patrick Bailey behind the plate, defensive whiz. Encarnacion in the outfield, Gerard, Sam Huff, need the backup catcher most likely, Luis Matos and Brett Wisely as well. One thing we're watching out for, when's Bryce Eldridge going to be there? Because I
Mm.
think if he comes up, I think he takes over first base, pushes Lamont to DH, and then again, what I'm seeing from this lineup, Jake, is some established veterans mixed in with some youth that's had success at the big level. So to me, that's a recipe for success. That's what I like. Is it going to be enough in this daunting division? Is it going to be enough to get them 86 wins? Curious to see. The strength of their team could be the pitching. Who's in the rotation in the bullpen?
Logan Webb, a horse, will be there one yet again. You know what you're getting. Innings, ground balls, even a couple more punchies than usual. Then the old men in the sea. How about Justin Verlander and Robbie Ray? A couple Cy Youngs on their mantles. And then Jordan Hicks still kind of making the move, starter to reliever, reliever to starter. He did a chunk of that last year, a little more built up. Let's see what that looks like. And then Kyle Harrison, young, talented lefty. Also, watch out for Hayden, Show Me Your Bird Song, Mason Black, Landon Roop, and Lucchesi get his way into some innings. And then the bullpen, I mean, they had one of the most dominant closers in baseball last year. It just wasn't the guy you thought it would be. Ryan Walker had an amazing breakout campaign last year. Yeah, Trev, you would not like facing him.
No, I would not like facing that.
And you wouldn't like facing Camilo Doval, who has to bounce back, right? Like the talent in that guy. Tyler Rogers stays from the right side. Eric Miller becoming a reliable lefty for them out of the pen. And then Jelly, our tall king. Lou Trevino fighting for a spot. Tristan Beck, Roop, Ethan Small, a couple other guys. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. You can dream on the pitching, I think, a little more than the hitting. But Trev, I guess where does the dreaming start? Because this is another tough division. This is the second team we've done in this division, and we're at the 18th spot. So there's a lot of similarities, like in this bucket we're currently in. We've done your Twins, the Cincinnati Reds. I feel like there's identity questions, and it's also what does it mean in their division, and I don't know. It feels like we're always asking that question with the Giants.
At this point in like the rankings, I feel like it's always everything has to go right. Health has to be there, and we need to see big steps from some of the young guys, and possibly even the veterans need to outperform projections. That's kind of how I feel about this Giants team. I like it. I do. Like they have guys. There's a bunch of guys that are above league average hitters there. I don't think there's any one guy that's gonna be an upper echelon top 10 hitter in baseball. But they have a bunch of talented Major League Baseball players in the lineup. I think they can play defense. I don't think that's in question. It's really, if the San Francisco Giants were in the NL Central, I think we'd talk a lot differently about them. I think they're looking up definitely I'll say definitely three teams. I think the Padres are maybe the closest team to them. I have the Diamondbacks on a completely different level. I have obviously the Dodgers on a completely different level. So I think really there just needs to be a bunch of overproduction. And that can happen. Like they can get hot. They can run it. They didn't do that last year. There was never really a time where they got hot. It was They kind of were just playing 500 baseball all throughout the year. So I think what it's going to take is we're going to have to see, like I said, in the lineup, some of the young guys, maybe Wizenhunt comes up and he's part of the
Mm.
rotation as well. Logan Webb's going to have to be Logan Webb. He's going to have to, throw 200 innings and be the ace. I don't think there's any question about that. But like JV's got to like show that he's still got it. And it's just like so many things I feel like have to go right for this Giants team to be in a position either to add at a deadline or to just be fully in a wild card contention in the NL. And I don't think that's necessarily their fault. Like I think it's a pretty good baseball team, but I think that's where I'll stop is they're a pretty good baseball team. And I think there's a lot of really good baseball in the National League.
Yes. Yeah, their young guys are interesting to me. You mentioned the sophomore thing, and that with baseball, it goes either way. Sometimes you see guys get a second look in this league, and that's bad news. Other guys you see take their game to the next level. And I think for me, like right now, I'm looking at Elliot Ramos and Tyler Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald's moving to second, so hey, maybe defensively a little less burden. Okay, maybe that can be a good thing. Put that in the plus column. I also saw a stat on our page that he had the 714 slugging on elevated fastballs, the best in baseball. So, okay, part of me puts that down as a good column. Part of me says every other team is looking at that and saying, yeah, keep it down, Poppy. That, what does that look like? And I don't know. If you're a Giants fan, you should probably, this would be the part where you start getting angry and you're like, hey, Tyler Fitzgerald's a dude. Like, I watched him for a chunk of last year ball out. Ramos, I mean, this guy was a first-round pick. He got his first real opportunity, and we saw the talent come through him that I know I do my Jakey offense thing, and like I think this team is going to pitch, man. And I know they've run out of starting pitchers, and we've seen that in a couple of these past seasons where it was like Logan Webb and then whoever's got 50 bullets in them. They have guys now. What are you going to get from Verlander? I don't know. What are you going to get from Robbie Ray? I don't know. But there's also a high end to that, man. That if this Giants team does have a couple things click, I need to feel a different thing in the air of San Francisco. It's just tough with the Dodgers looming. Like, okay, when we did your Twins, even when the Cincinnati Reds, like when we talked about the beauty of baseball breaking out, for those teams, it's kind of like, hey, man, if we're in it at the deadline and a couple of our things click and we're healthy and they're not, like we could win the division. I think Giants fans know that they're not winning the division.
Sure.
Which, hey, maybe that can be a beautiful thing. Maybe it's like, hey, let's not get in a race with that Ferrari. Like, let's just run our season and let's win 90 games and let's make the dance and see where we're at. But I don't know. I get nervous looking at the middle of their lineup. You know, Jung-Hoo Lee, he got a taste last year, and he looked the part, man. Some of his defensive highlights were good. At the plate, he didn't look lost, but he also didn't get a ton of results. That I'm looking at some of his projections, and they have him having a 780 OPS, which if you get that out of Jung-Hoo Lee, yes, I will start thinking differently of the Giants. I need to believe in the lineup a little more, and I'm a step away. And I don't know if that's me. I don't know if that's young guys, but it's a step away for me.
I think what Giants fans will say to all of that is full year of Elliott, full year of Tyler, full year of Jung-Hoo Lee, and a full year of Willie Adames. You're adding, Adames and Jung-Hoo Lee basically, weren't obviously Adames wasn't there. Jung-Hoo missed a ton of the games. Fitzgerald played 90 games. Elliott played 120 games. You're talking like four guys that are coming in that you can imagine as plus offensive players that can make a difference in the lineup, going along with all the other guys that you already have there. Again, I just think that there isn't really that huge breakout bat that can carry a team throughout a period of time. But again, you don't need that. You don't need that to win in this league. If you do have a lineup, I mean, this is one of the longer lineups I think we've seen, and typically I really enjoy that. Pass the baton, have good at bats. I think there's 100% I can say with certainty is that this Giants team will not have some like a culture problem. Like they're gonna
Yeah,
play the game the right way. They're gonna play the game hard. They're gonna hold each other accountable. I know the guys in that clubhouse. Like I think that is a plus. I also like their coaching staff is there. It's not just because I know my boy JP, but they the culture's right. The culture is there, and so yeah, it's like basically they're gonna go into spring training, and I don't know if the message is gonna be like, "Hey, we're the underdog. Let's go be that underdog," or if they're gonna be like, "Fuck, we're the alphas." Like they could choose either one. And I think they'd be the right message, but they just got to go out and do it. It's there's a lot of things to like about this Giants team. I think the lineup is above average. I do. I think the
it
starting
can
pitching.
be.
I think no. I
It
think it is.
can be.
I think it is, Jake. I do. Especially if we're talking full years of these guys. We're not bringing health in, like we're just projecting them to play full years. I think it's above average. I think the rotation has some question marks.
Okay.
Like, Jordan Hicks, love it. Is like how many innings can he give you? How many innings can JV give you? Ray, the same thing. So I I'd even venture to say like I could see them being above average too. And then in the back of the bullpen, I think you have Walker's been great. Can Camilo like find his cutter out again? His cutter got banged around last year. It's a location thing. Like they have Rogers still slinging it down there from the dirt. Like they have Jelly. Like they have guys that can get the job done. None of the groups. I'm like, damn. Like it's a home run.
Yeah, and uh, especially team by team, we look at them and it's like, where did you have your success? And 2021 is the outlier. Otherwise, they've been 500 as an organization for a while now, but they had that beautiful 2021 season. Your guy Gabe at the helm. Brandon Crawford went nuts that year and had a 900 OPS. Buster Posey, LOL, same. It's where are they going to get those performances from? Buster Posey's now like running the team, so maybe there is going to be a top-down organizational thing where Buster's got the organization on the right path. Like you said, you like the coaches. Maybe we'll be talking about the Giants coaching staff this year again. We're back. Justin Verlander, what is there actually a ripple effect of having him teach some of these young guys a little bit of his hints, tips, and codes? I don't know. I think I don't want to say we have Giants fatigue, but it's a little bit like, I don't know, man. I keep referencing the teams that are in this area. The Rays, it's like, hey, Junior Caminero, can he become one of those elite players? Ellie De La Cruz, can he make a leap to a top 5 player in this league? For the Giants, it's who is that? And maybe they don't need that. Maybe it's, maybe we have one of the best left sides in baseball you're going to see. With Matt Chapman and Willie, we got the best defensive catcher in baseball, and Patrick Bailey might have more in that bat. Maybe Fitzgerald and the whole infield just becomes a thing here. But I don't know. That year that they were so good, Posey played at an MVP level, Crawford played at an MVP level, and I believe their bullpen was the best in baseball. That I'm looking at this and I don't see any of that. And with that division, it makes me hard to fully buy in. Like, I think this Giants team, kind of what you've been saying, I think they could be one of the most fun teams in baseball. Like, if Lamont's getting on, Willie, Chappie, Jung-Hoo Lee, Ramos, like you said, there's depth here. I'm worried about the breadth. Am I using that right?
Depth and breadth.
Depth
What?
and breadth. Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
I think, look, you're talking about these other guys, these young guys. I mean, Elliot Ramos, maybe not on the same level as, this is the same ceiling as some of these guys, but this guy could be a 30 homer guy.
Well, they've been looking for that in San Francisco.
I know.
For
I mean,
he
hit 22 last year and 475 at bats. Yeah. So give him a full 162, stick him out there every single day. You can get close.
Rob, show him what Willie's going to do. This is what Trev's missing. How about the most barreled balls with runners in scoring position
Love
the last
that.
2 years? Okay? Okay?
Love that.
So they've got that now.
Oh, 2 of the 5 of those guys have my fingerprints all over them.
Willie Adames and Shohei?
I mean,
um,
look, I don't know how many times Willie's going deep to right like that this year. Definitely not to right center like that. That's for sure.
yeah, that's not gone.
So, yeah, I mean, we're gonna see a little bit of offensive decline from Willie just because of the ballpark he's playing at. But I also think he might get better defensively, so I don't know. I like this team. I feel like but I also feel like I'm trying to convince myself that,
Right.
like, they got a real great shot at this, and they do. Wild I think okay, ceiling, wild card.
Yes.
Floor, 80 and 82.
Yeah. You'd like to think. You'd like to think. I also think something, and again, you could do this for every team, but I want to say the names. Like you've mentioned Bryce Eldridge a couple times. Like, let's see if he's on the fast track, super prospect, first base, 20 years old. Marco Luciano, who kind of fell out from shortstop. He's playing outfield. McRae, I remember Casey Schmidt had a moment there where he was going nuts. I guess for me, Luis Matos was a big prospect. I want to see how the olds and youngs recycle. Like right now, Wilmer Flores is slotted in DH. He had a couple massive years for San Francisco. Does that hang, or does he become like the bench veteran? Yastrzemski, he's turning 35 this year, I think. He was solid last year. I guess with those older guys and these younger guys, how the season plays out, I think they're going to need a couple other young guys to come back. Luis Matos had a swing change, or Luciano's been killing it as an outfielder. They're going to need something like that to come out of, I don't want to say come out of the blue, but I think they really need that to keep up with the Snakes. And we're not even talking about keeping up with the Dodgers and the Padres, who are still really good.
I'm looking at their bullpen, and they gotta be saying, "Ow." Like, they need some innings out of their starters. Tyler Rogers, who probably never his arm never hurts because he
Yeah.
throws underhand, like,
Is
that's
it
good for your
arm
arm, right?
always hurts, I think.
No,
It's one or
I
the
think
other.
that's like it never hurts. That's why softball pitchers can throw 2 games in a
Right.
day.
Okay.
77 games last year for him. Ryan Walker, closer, 76. Eric Miller through 73 games. Taylor Rogers gone now, 64. Camilo, 62. Jelly, 58. Like these guys were in a lot of baseball games last year.
Cleats on the bullpen.
Love it. I mean, look, I don't even know what the over under is. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm very curious because I have a number in my head and I wonder if it lines up with it.
Let's see what the DraftKings number is for your San Francisco Giants. And hey, get in on the baseball action. Get in on the NBA action with our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook, the home of player props. And right now, if you bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you use code Talkin. So whatever you're looking at, I mean, sure, you know the over-unders and spreads and all that stuff. They've also assists, rebounds, steals, whatever you're looking for. DraftKings is the place for it. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. New customers use code TALKIN. Bet $5 on any wager. You get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Code TALKIN only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Coach, you got a look on your face. What do we got?
Well, what do you think my guess was for the over under after talking about how like mid range?
Probably like 80.5.
It's 80 and a half, coach.
Really?
In my head, it was got to be right around 81. And here we are sitting the DraftKings over under win total for the 2025 San Francisco Giants is 80.5. It's a tough one for me.
80 wins last year brought in Willie Adames and Justin Verlander. Lost Snell. Okay. Bless you, Rob.
In 3, 2, 1, under. You were supposed to go over. this can't be a downer episode. I'm sorry, Giants fans. We come into these things with, I think an idea of how it's gonna go, and then we really get into the roster and go over numbers, and there are times where we just can't get there. And I feel like I'm there with the Giants, and I want to be. I like a lot of players on this team. I think they have been aggressive as a front office, or at least tried to be. So, like, I want them to figure it out. I have friends on the coaching staff. I played under Bob Melvin. Like, there's a lot of things to like about San Francisco. But, when we're comparing right now, the National League is just kind of a beast. I think that's the biggest thing to me. There's just so many good teams in the National League where this team, I think, is in the middle range of the National League, slightly above. They're like me, slightly above average.
They can easily get that over. I want them to be a fun story in baseball again, because they locked up Matt Chapman.
Yeah, they've been doing
They
it.
brought in Willie Adames. Jung-Hoo Lee got a hunch. So, like, the Giants
They've been trying.
The Giants for a little bit were in that Blue Jays category of like, oh, go get someone, blah, blah, blah. They've kind of done it. I guess for me, when I look at losing Snell, Conforto had a sneaky year last year. Taylor Rogers, like, we need to replicate that to get back to 500. That's some of the question marks about some of the younger guys. I unfortunately just think in the NL West, I think we took the safer side. That I'll be honest to my Giants brethren, I hope is wrong. It's a beautiful ballpark. It's a fun team. If they get the magic, let's go. Giants fans, tell us how wrong we are, how nasty Fitzgerald and Ramos are going to be this year. Everyone else, let us know what you think, and we will be back with the 17th ranked, almost halfway baseball team. See ya.